Hello everyone and welcome back to Melbourne Railway videos. Since my last update in June, works on all remaining construction sites have progressed significantly and there is already more infrastructure open to the public. In this video, I'll not only visit the 5 future stations, but I will also show you some of the exciting tram infrastructure upgrades that have recently taken place. We begin on a piece of tram infrastructure that is, well, less new, but nonetheless part of the project. For those who haven't recognised it, I'm on a southbound St Kilda Road tram approaching Anzac station. I began my previous construction updates at the tunnel portals at South Yarra and South Kensington, but they were already essentially complete last time, so there are no new changes worth reporting. Check out my previous construction updates if you want to see what they look like. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a tram line branching out. This is the junction for the Domain Road tram line, which is still in limbo. More on that soon. Coming into view now is the Eastern Station entrance to Anzac, with its glass lift and canopy-covered escalators. And as we arrive into Anzac, notice the finished bike lane and the bus stop. Let's start at the main entrance, Melbourne's first tram-train interchange. There aren't any obvious changes here since last time, or indeed since the tram stop opened a couple of years ago. Let's now peek through the hoardings to get a sense of what the underpass is looking like. It all looks nearly finished, doesn't it? Well, that's no surprise, because since the last update, Anzac Station has been proclaimed finished. Well, at least major construction is finished. It does seem credible though, based on what we can see, although there is still plenty of work to be done, but it seems more to do with cleaning up and landscaping than actually building anything. Let's now cross the road to the western side. Once again, note the finished bike lane on this side, which looks really fun to ride down. Here is the entrance, and notice that the paving has been done and even bike hoops have been installed. It shouldn't be long before this bit opens up for pedestrians, akin to what you will see later in the video at Parkville. This is the station goods lift, and this is the fancier main lift that you'll use when it opens. There's also a bus stop on this side. I'm not aware of any publicly accessible plans for bus routes, but it will be interesting to see if this is just a replacement bus stop or if there will be actual bus routes running along here. I think the small little plants that they've put in alongside the bike lane are really nice. The structure here is of course the canopy, sheltering the stairs and escalators down to the underpass. I think all the scaffolding is deceptive. It's a lot more finished than it looks, as is seen by the escalator that has already been installed. Something that has definitely changed since last time is that you can really get a sense of what it will be like stepping out from this entrance. You'll be guided down to this park where the South African Soldiers Memorial has been reinstated. Or you could just chill out on the steps, of course. It seems like we're right in the middle of the laying down the lawn phase. Part of it has been done, and part of it is still dirt, but looks like it won't be long until it's done. This bit seems to be a barbecuing area. Further west, this bit of the park is actually open. They're calling it Bullock Swamp, and they have these nice little stepping stones to hop across it. Heading back towards the station now, and this provides a great opportunity for comparison. Last time I was here, it looked like this. And now, it looks like this. According to the latest Anzac Station construction update, nearly all works here will wrap up in late October, with only station fit-out works to go thereafter. Now, let's check out the other side, which is arguably the more interesting side. As you can see, the turf has recently been put in on this side too. I can't get as close to this entrance yet, but it looks to be not far from being finished. The reason why I think this side is more interesting is of course because of the tram works on Domain Road. This is a mystery that has intrigued me since I first visited the Anzac Station tram stop and noticed the junction that I pointed out earlier in the video. The intent is very clear to build the tram infrastructure. In fact, these tram stops outside Melbourne Grammar School are nearly done and all the tram tracks have been installed. These street lights have sprung up at intervals that seem regular enough they should be able to double in holding up the tram wires, which are yet to be installed. But to quote Doc Neeson, the mystery still remains. Are we ever going to see the Domain Road trams again? Somehow, despite the considerable expense of all this infrastructure, the answer is still maybe. According to this tweet by the local Greens MP Sam Hibbins, who managed to obtain information from the Labor Minister, the plan is to begin with a bus service, analyse travel patterns, and then possibly reinstate the tram. So based on that, We won't even know if trams will return once the tunnel opens. Or in other words, no way, get. In my opinion, they should keep the existing Route 58 along its newer Toorak Road alignment, but also reinstate something like the 8 along its old alignment. But even if they don't do this, I think the tram stop here could prove to be a useful turnback, especially with the dawn service or F1 crowds. And they have indeed installed a turnback, which could be used for this purpose. Finally, works are continuing to reinstate the Edmund Herring Memorial Oval. It won't get up for this cricket season, but you might be able to play footy on it next year. We'll see. Let's move now to Town Hall, which has hitherto been the most frustrating construction site because it has been very hidden. The good news is that it is now less hidden, in some parts at least. Unfortunately, it is still quite difficult to see into the City Square site. This was filmed from as high up as I could get in the adjacent Maccas. I'm very curious as to what this white thing is on the screen now. I don't think it's in its permanent position, whatever it is, because I'm pretty sure that where it is now is supposed to be, well, a square. I'd love it if someone could let me know in the comments what they think it might be. Here are some more permanent structures, which look like they might be part of the station entrance here in City Square. Again though, it is hard to actually get a sense of what is springing up. Moving to the Flinders Quarter site now, on the other side of the road, and this is what I meant by the progress being less hidden than before. Previously, there was a huge site office across here that pretty much stopped you from seeing inside. However, now that it is gone, we can see in at last. Once again though, it's difficult to actually get a sense of what is being built. I think what we are seeing is the foundations of the overstation development, but there may also be evidence of the station entrance here somewhere, I just don't know where to look. Nevertheless, I'm sure by the next update we will have more to see here since the view won't be obstructed. At the time of filming, the footpath on the western side of Swanston Street was still closed for the installation of the stormwater treatment system, but this may well have reopened by the time you're watching this video, as works are projected to finish in late September. On the other side of the L-shaped Flinders Quarter site, on Flinders Street, we can also peer in. Once again though, it's a bit of a mess of construction equipment, and difficult for an untrained eye like mine to work out what's going on. So I'll call out once again for anyone who might know more to share their knowledge in the comments. Nothing has really changed at Federation Square. The shed is still up and there is no sign of it coming down anytime soon, although according to the latest Town Hall construction update, the excavation works for the escalator shaft here will finally be completed in late September. I could be mistaken, but this may well be the last bit of excavation and tunnelling on the whole project, which would be a great milestone. But as of now, there's nothing I can show you. Finally, I want to talk about the De Grave Street subway. It's still not finished, and there is still no timeline on when it will be finished, aside from the vague 2024 that the PTV website has been showing for ages. But there are some promising signs. Recently, the hoardings have been removed on the platforms at Flinders Street, revealing the new lifts. Formerly, there were two staircases, one on either side, leading down to the De Grave Street subway. What they did is they covered over one of them and installed the lifts. For some reason, they've decided to maintain the ornamental fencing which used to block people from falling down the staircase. While it looks nice, it seems a little out of place now, and I think it also excessively inhibits the platform space from being used. Nevertheless, it's nice to look across Flinders Street Station and see fewer visual obstructions again. You might have expected me to move to State Library Station now, but before I go there, I want to show you a few of the new Latrobe Street tram stops. These aren't strictly part of the Metro Tunnel project, but I think they were certainly motivated by the projected higher demand for Latrobe Street tram services following the opening of State Library Station. This first stop is at Flagstaff Station. Notice that it can now finally appropriately provide level access for low-floor trams such as the E-Class. Stops have been upgraded all along Latrobe Street. Here is another upgraded one at Elizabeth Street. It seems like a lot of consideration has been given to shelter at the stops, which is very pleasing. Now we're up at State Library Station. This stop is massive and it looks like it could easily accommodate two E-Class trams. It also has a turnback, which will no doubt prove useful. Note that the stop name is Melbourne Central and State Library Stations, which is a nice clear name describing all the possible train interchanges. Let's check out the main State Library Station entrance. It's really coming along. The most noticeable change is that they have started installing the main artwork here, which will look really impressive on the corner once it's done. Looking inside, you can clearly see the installation of the lifts, as well as this above-ground balcony, which I think will house a cafe. The next few shots are of the various nooks of the construction site. Some of these were filmed from the adjacent Little Latrobe Street. Moving further north, nothing has noticeably changed on Beckett Street. The shed is still up, and there is no indication that it will be coming down soon. Underneath it, they are fitting out underground passenger areas and operational rooms. There is more to see on Franklin Street though. On the eastern side, which does not feature an entrance but does feature ancillary buildings, the current works entail removing capping beams. I think capping beams are used in construction to support the installation of piles, so now that all the piles are in, they can be taken away. Maybe someone with more engineering knowledge could provide some insights in the comments. The western side is more exciting because this is where the entrance will be, and you can actually see it now. It's covered in scaffolding, but that orange is the canopy over the top of the escalators down into the concourse. Franklin Street will eventually reopen to cars, but similar to what you'll soon see with Grattan Street, it will prioritise pedestrians, having lower speeds and only one lane in each direction. It used to be a dual carriageway with 2 lanes on each side, but I'm glad it's being narrowed. There are too many cars in the CBD as it is. The last thing I want to show you is the very exciting tram changes here. Formerly, there was this little, rarely used wedge here where trams sometimes terminated and sometimes proceeded onto Victoria Street. It was a bit of a waste of space, and a relic of a time when trams used to terminate here instead of at Melbourne Uni. This has since been removed and replaced with new turning tracks here. One thing that surprised me is that they have a dedicated left turning track for Victoria Street trams, which will ensure that trams behind it don't get stuck while the Victoria Street tram waits to turn left. The track geometry here is really cool. I think the technical term for this is gauntlet track. Basically, a tram track inside a tram track. You don't see a lot of it in Melbourne, but it's much more common overseas. I saw a lot of it in Lisbon, but foolishly didn't take any photos or videos, so here's a photo from Wikipedia. You might be wondering, what exactly are these Victoria Street trams that I'm talking about? These are not the Route 57 trams which run up next to the Queen Victoria Market. In fact, it's currently impossible to run past the market from Swanston Street, although there are plans to change that. At this stage, no tram routes actually use this stretch of Victoria Street between Swanston and Elizabeth Streets, but hopefully that will change soon given they have upgraded the tracks. I think that at least one of the Swanston Street trams should permanently use this link to relieve the busy Route 19 trams which exclusively serve the western side of Melbourne Uni. Once again, there are no publicly accessible details of what the tram plans are. We'll just have to wait and see. Major construction had already finished at the next 2 stations by the last video I made, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't been progress since then. At Parkville, the most noticeable change is that the buses are back on Grattan Street. The 401, 402, 403, 505 and 546 bus routes all run through here, just like they used to before Metro Tunnel works. I was filming this on a Sunday, so naturally, bus service frequencies weren't great, and some of these routes mentioned don't even run on Sundays. Nevertheless, it's great to see buses back again. In terms of the work still to be done at Parkville, they still need to finish the public realm works on Barry Street, which will no longer be open to cars. This is crawling along, but to be fair, this isn't exactly the highest priority part of the Metro Tunnel. This chiller plant and retail building is slowly coming along too. They are still using temporary lighting here instead of the new streetlights. The streetlights ostensibly look ready to go, so I'm not sure what the hold-up is with using them, instead of these diesel-generated lights. But I doubt it will be long until they can be used. Landscaping and replanting has continued around the station, and the plants are quickly growing, which is great to see. Let's look at the 4 station entrances. Here is the main one. I don't think anything has really changed here. The Vernal Glade artwork had already been installed in my last update. This footage from inside the station is from Minister for Transport Infrastructure Danny Pearson's Instagram page. This set of escalators takes us up from the platform level to the concourse. As we get to the top, we have the option of continuing straight to access the station toilets and I believe the customer service window, but instead we'll turn right to exit at Grattan Street East, the main entrance I was showing you before. Notice the sheer length of vernal glade artwork on the left, and how much colour it adds to the concourse. Finally, we ascend the escalators up towards street level. You can see why they said major construction is done here. Now we're at the Eastern Royal Parade entrance, which looks finished, as does the Western Royal Parade entrance, which has had signs installed since last time. And finally, the Western Grattan Street entrance, near the hospitals. For some reason, the text is aligned on the right instead of the centre. Hopefully this is easily fixable. Buses have also reverted to stopping here like they used to, which is way more convenient than the temporary arrangement of stopping at Reckland Street that they had while buses weren't running down Grattan Street. And finally, here is Arden. Major construction finished at Arden ages ago, and the only noticeable thing that has changed here since last time is that they have completed the installation of Abdullah's Come Together mosaic. I really like it. It brightens up what was a pretty industrial and ordinary station entrance. Here are some more shots around the place. The grass is really starting to grow up. I don't see why they can't open up some of it to the public yet. It'd be great to use to kick the footy or for dogs to run around in. They should really get it open. A lot of the temporary construction buildings remain here, and it doesn't seem like they're ready to pack them up either. But yeah, not much progress to report at Arden. I think the only major thing there is left to do is to put in the shops, but this will no doubt happen closer to the opening date. There's no point of getting the shops ready too early. So there you go. That's what all the main construction sites are looking like as of spring 2024. Parkville and Arden are all but done. Major construction is finished at Anzac, and by the end of October we will also be able to describe it as all but done. It's just State Library and Town Hall holding things up, although there is promising progress at both, especially State Library. I think it's going to be a really exciting next few months for viewing the progress of these CBD stations, as a lot of the sheds and the hoardings have been removed, so it is much easier to see what's going on. But what about the main question? When is the Metro Tunnel going to open? Well, it should actually already be open. The original contracts had September 2024 as the opening date, but clearly it isn't ready for action just yet. According to this article from The Age, a leaked letter states that the government will offer a bonus of $143.5 million if it opens by the 29th of June 2025. So we are 9 months away then, if those targets are hit. It's going to be a long 9 months, especially as we look north at all the fun Sydney-siders are having on their new metro. But I think from this video, you will agree that from the progress you have seen, 9 months does seem achievable. There was also a lot of drama recently about the electromagnetic interference problem of running trains underneath the medical precinct at Parkville, where lots of sensitive machines are. However, the media blew this story way out of proportion, and it turned out to not be anywhere near as bad as what was depicted. These electromagnetic radiation problems were known about and identified in the business case, which actually anticipated the expenses associated with the issue. Furthermore, there were fears that trains would have to crawl between Arden and Parkville to avoid excessive radiation from impacting the machines. However, I think people got mixed up between acceleration and velocity, because while acceleration will have to be limited, velocity will not. Train speeds will not have to be slowed. Trains will just have to accelerate a little bit slower than normal, causing only a few seconds of additional journey time. So, crisis averted. Anyway, that's all I have to update you on. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything or made a mistake with any of the details. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.